Hello and welcome students. I am Dr. Adil Patel and today I am going to explain you how to use Design Expert software. Now this particular software is very important to carry out optimization of drug delivery system. Also it would help us to assess the activity of dependent and non-independent factors and their responses in terms of various analytical and experimental data. So when you click on the new design, the very first screen would visible like this. So here you can see there are different options. So you can select any particular option as per your need. Before using this particular software, you must remember that which is the most suitable design for your experiment or for your purpose. The two main purpose for using this particular software is that either you want to screen your factors, you want to select most significant factor out of various factors, or you can go for the optimization of your experimental data. Now suppose you want to do screening of particular factor, then the experimental design which you are supposed to select is Plackett-Berman or fractionate factorial design or two-level full factorial design. So these three methods are suitable for screening of various factors. But if your aim is to go for the optimization, then there are three options available. So first one is box Benken method. Second one is central composite design method. And the third one is three-level factorial design. Now those who are doing MPharm in pharmaceutics, in pharmaceutical technology, in regulatory affair, and those who are going to prepare a drug delivery system as a part of their dissertation work, the most promising and the most useful method is three-level factorial design. Now this particular screen is showing you regular two-level factorial design. Likewise, you have minimum run resolution versus characterization design. Then you have minimum run screen. You have multi-level categoric. You have optimal design where you can customize as per your need. Miscellaneous designs, as I said, Plackett-Berman is mainly for screening your factors. So in a nutshell, there are various options, and before using this particular software, you have to read about all these factorial designs, and you have to come to a conclusion that which particular method is more suitable for doing the optimization or screening of factors which you want to do. Now for the demonstration purpose, I have prepared three different designs. So one is three factor two level design. The other one is three level factorial design, and you have box Bankum design. So starting with the very first one, so if you go to the main screen, here I have added three recent files which are nothing but examples of three different designs. So starting with the two factor three level design. So when I click here, here you can see that I have already entered some data in this table. So if you want to know what is this, you have to click here on summary. So this is a factorial study, full factorial study. The design type is full factorial study. Design model is 2FI. So it has been selected by default by the software. So we cannot do much here. There are 9 possible runs, or you can say there are 9 possible formulations if we are using this particular design. There are no center points, and here you can see we have taken two different factors. So first one is concentration of oxidized alginate, and the unit is percentage weight by volume. Second one is concentration of gelatin, and that is also in percentage weight by volume. So we have taken three different levels: minimum level, maximum level, and the medium level. Now if you see the responses, so we have selected three different responses: viscosity, the unit is centipoise; gelation time, that is in second; and percentage CDR at 10 hour. So whenever we are performing any experiment, we have to select responses and we have to select factors. So two factors, three levels, right? And there are 9 possible formulations we can prepare using this combination of two factors, three levels. And we are going to check the effect of factors on these three uh, responses, that is viscosity, gelation time, and percentage CDR at 10 hours. The method of analysis is factorial. Okay, this is mean of the data which we have entered. So minimum data, maximum data, and the mean value, the standard deviation, right? Now going back to the actual design. So this is the concentration of oxidized alginate. This is the concentration of gelatin, and these three responses. So this data you will get after doing experimental work in laboratory. And once you prepare 9 different formulation, for each formulation you have to check the viscosity. For each formulation you have to check the gelation time, and for each formulation you have to do dissolution study, and you have to check what is the percentage cumulative drug release at 10-hour time period. And how can you prepare 9 different formulation? So you can use this combination: 15% weight by volume of oxidized alginate and gelatin, that is 10% weight by volume. So likewise you can prepare 9 different formulation, and for each formulation you have to check the viscosity, gelation time, and percentage CDR at 10 hour. And after that you have to put your data in this table, right? So this would look like this after putting data. And when you click on summary, the summary will give you basic information about the study which we have selected, what are factors and what are responses. And then step by step, if you click on graph column, so here you can see the y-axis contains viscosity. So you can see that points are uniformly distributed. If you take the second factor, that is concentration of gelatin, here you can see that the pattern is slightly different compared to the concentration of oxidized alginate. So this kind of diagnosis you can do, that what kind of effects we are getting when we are doing experiment using the selected factors and their various you can say levels. Histogram. So there is not much information we are getting from this particular plot. Next is evaluation. So in evaluation, we are not supposed to make any change because the software is capable to select the best possible setting. So we are not supposed to make any particular change here. Right. So this would give you some idea about standard error and all. So this is also not so significant for our purpose. And this particular information is like no alias is found for 2FI model. That means the model which we or the model which the software has selected, that is 2FI, is appropriate and suitable to do optimization of the data which we have entered. Now coming to the analysis part, so one by one uh, we can go for the analysis. So first response is viscosity. So when you click on this, here we do not need any kind of transformation. So you have to select none. After that, if you go to effect, right. So here you can see half normal plot. So the red line indicates the expected outcome, or you can say the expected result in terms of viscosity, and these particular spots are showing maximum concentration of gelatin and oxidizing agent. So when we click on viscosity and when we go for the effect, it indicates that on viscosity, as per the half normal plot, the viscosity is more dependent on the concentration of gelatin than the concentration of oxidized alginate, right? So this we can learn from this particular graph, that the concentration of gelatin is contributing towards the viscosity more compared to the concentration of oxidized alginate. Next, when you click on ANOVA, that is analysis of variance, now the only thing you have to see here is this value. If the p-value is less than 0.0001, then the data and the entire model is significant. Now, what is the meaning of this thing? This means that the data, the raw data which you have collected is proper, is in the sync with the theoretical knowledge, and there is no need to carry out this experiment again, because whatever data you have recorded are very much in synchronization with the theoretical knowledge available. Okay, so the model is significant. If you find that model is not significant, then the conclusion is that your readings are not correct and you have to go for the experimentation process again and you have to collect data again. Also, it suggests that the factor coding is coded and sum of square is type 2 classical. So that is very much necessary for our conclusion. Here the fit statistic, so our R square value is 0.99, adjusted R square is 0.99, predicted R square is 0.97, and adequate precision is 40.33. So a very small difference between the predicted R square and the adjusted R square shows that whatever reading we have collected, readings are correct and there is no need to go for the experimentation part again to make any change in our experimental data. If the difference between the adjusted R square and the predicted R square is more than 0.2, then there may be some error, but here there is no error at all. Also here you can see that the adequate precision is 40.33. That is also an indication that the data is correct. When you click on this particular tab, that is coded equation, so this would give you some mathematical detail about an equation which is known as polynomial equation. So this polynomial equation is very important. Here you can see that all independent factors are showing their effect, but there is no interaction at all. So interaction is completely absent. This is called actual equation, but coded equation is more useful for us. Then you go and click on the third tab, that is diagnosis. So in diagnosis, you will see different graph. So this particular normal plot of residual. So you can see that points are not on the line. Viscosity points are not on the line, but they are not so scattered. They are not so scattered also. And this indicates that except this one particular point, all other points are very much near to line. And that shows the data which we have entered is correct. Here again you will see that there is one particular point which is slightly away from the middle line, otherwise all other data points are uniformly scattered around the middle line, and no data is outside the range, that is the upper range and the lower range. Here also data is well within the upper and lower range, and this particular graph would tell us that there are very minor difference between the predicted and the actual value. And when you click this model graph, so this would give you an indication that as the concentration of oxidized alginate is increasing, viscosity is increasing when we put all factors here, right? So as the concentration of alginate and as the concentration of gelatin increases, viscosity increases, right? When you click here interaction, all lines are separate, so there is no interaction at all. Contour graph. So in contour graph, you can see that readings are very much linear. They are increasing and decreasing in a linear manner. This is predicted versus actual. So of course points are scattered, but they are not scattered or they are not scattered far away from the central line. So that is desirable. And here you will get this 3D graph. So this would indicate that linear relationship is there between the response and factors. Click to the second response, that is gelation time, and again transformation none. Effect, here you can see that gelation time. So here also gelatin is playing more important role than the concentration of oxidized alginate. When you click on ANOVA, again the model is significant. Adequate precision is 30.72, that is way more than the 4. So the data which we have collected is correct. You are getting equation here, right? So this particular equation is for gelation time. Click on the diagnosis and the same set of uh, data and graph you are seeing here. One thing I want to clarify, that you may find lot of information while doing optimization using this design expert software, because this software is not limited to pharmaceutical use, but in engineering, in aerospace engineering, in mechanical, electrical, everywhere people are using this software. So you will find a lot of information, but there are very selective informations which we can use for our purpose. So normal plot of residual, so lines are points are not so scattered except the one point. Again, there is maximum limit, minimum limit, and all responses are well within this range. And here you will get model graph, again 3D surface contour. Similarly, you can click on third response. This is also significant and adequate precision. So all three responses are showing significant here, and they are very much with the sync of the software which expect us in terms of data quality. Now going to the optimization part. when you click on numerical optimization. Now, suppose you want to prepare a pharmaceutical dosage form with a pinpoint quality or a pinpoint value of any particular response. Now, viscosity. Now, right now we are not looking for a goal, but suppose if I have a target that I want to prepare gel using oxidized alginate and gelatin with the viscosity of 2000 centipoise. So what I have done, I have selected viscosity here, numerical optimization, I have selected viscosity and the target which I have selected is 2000. Okay, right. Gelation time. So I have a target that I want gelation time to be 120 second, right? 120 second is my target, or I want gel with the gelation time of 100 seconds. Okay, so I have given the target, and next is percentage CDR. So I want percentage CDR, I want 94% release. I want 94% drug release at the end of 10th hour, right? Now I have given target for viscosity, that is 2000 centipoise. Gelation time I want 100 seconds. Percentage CDR I want 94%. Now when I click on this tab, that is solution, this particular thing you have to remember. Right. So the desirability is 0.823, which is very close to 1, right? So if I take 20% weight by volume concentration of oxidized alginate, if I take 15% weight by volume concentration of gelatin, the readings or the responses of viscosity, gelation time and percentage CDR are very much identical with which what I have selected, right? And the predicability or the desirability is 0.8, which means that 0.80% chances are there that I may get this particular formulation. Okay, so here you can see that percentage CDR at 10 hour is 85.163. The target was 94, but if you see the other parameters that are somewhat near to what I have selected, right? So viscosity is 2056 centipoise, gelation time is 118 seconds, and the percentage CDR is 85.163. There are other formulations are also there, but the desirability is maximum here. Okay, so the use of this numerical optimization is that you may not get the identical values, but this software will give you a combination which may have responses near to what you have selected, and it also shows the desirability. Okay, right? So this solution tab is very important. Then you have this graphical optimization. So graphical optimization is not going to work because you have this numerical factors. So point of prediction. So yes, here you can see that the viscosity, that is 2056 uh, centipoise, gelation time 118 seconds, the target was 100 second, and the percentage CDR target was 94 second, but actually you are going to get 85.1633, right? So this would give you the point prediction. Okay, point prediction, and this is the formula, possible formula to achieve your target which you have given. Okay, so this is confirmation and coefficient table. So for viscosity, you are getting negative coefficients. P values are also there, gelation time and percentage CDR. So very quickly, this is your design. When you click on summary, this would give you idea that what you have selected so far. Then click on analysis, go for transformation none, effect. So concentration of gelatin is more prominent effect on the viscosity. ANOVA models are significant, right? R square, adjusted R square and predicted R squares are very much near. Adequate precision is greater than 4. This would give you polynomial equation, diagnosis. So your readings are correct. And then you have model graph. So similarly for gelation time, effect, concentration of gelatin is more prominent. ANOVA, the model is significant, and this particular set of data shows that your readings are correct. Diagnosis, and you have model graph. Okay, this is predicted versus actual in terms of gelation time. The similar thing for CDR. So this is effect. Here the concentration of oxidized alginate is more prominent effect. Okay, so this you have to understand. ANOVA, this is also significant. Diagnosis, model graph, numerical. So we have given targets. Viscosity, we want 2000 CPS. Gelation, we need 100 seconds. CDR 94. Now see why this is not matching, because from your basic knowledge of BFARM you must be knowing that it is very difficult to prepare something with pinpoint viscosity. If you are preparing gel or any semi-solid preparation, it's very difficult to prepare a gel or cream or something which is having exact 2000 CPS viscosity, right? So in solution, why you are getting this kind of variation? Because we have selected a very pinpoint target, right? If we select a range, in the range, right? So in range I can select like 1800 to 2000 CPS centipoise. Gelation time also will take in range, so from 90 to 100 seconds. And for percentage CDR also we can take range, so it is in the range of 90 to 94. And then let us see what kind of solution we are getting. So okay, so interestingly we are not getting any solution here, right? We are not getting any solution here. So let us try to make some change. Let us go for 80 to 94. Gelation time would be 80 to 100 and the viscosity would be 1500. And let us see. Still we are not getting. Still we are not getting. Hmm. So we have to go for the larger range. So let me write to 1200. This would be 60 seconds and this would be 70. And let us see. Oh, something is wrong here, I think. Use interval one side. Okay. So I think we should select nothing. Let us see what happens here. And click on the solution, right? Okay, so when you are not selecting anything, right, everything has desirability of 1. And if we select only 1, that is a target of 2000, right? Okay, let us see. Yes, so we are not altering other two responses, that is dilation time and percentage CDR, but we want something which is having 2000 CPS viscosity. So here you are getting desirability of 0.735, right? So 70% chances are there that you can get this kind of formulation with the selected viscosity of 1788 centipoise. Okay, so likewise you can use this software to optimize your formula to come to the conclusion that whether your readings are correct and what would be the ideal formulation combination in terms of quantity of excipient to get desired effect, right? Now that was about uh, 3 days to 2 factorial design. Okay, now coming back to the main. So next is 3 factor 2 level design. So when you click here, right, so go to the summary, right? So 2 level factorial design, this is also factorial design. You will notice that the number of runs are 8 and the design model is 3fi. So 3 factors are concentration of methyl cellulose, concentration of PEG 400, and the concentration of sodium EDTA. Response, there is only one response, that is gelling temperature. This is your study, the table which contains data. So 3 different factors. There are 2 levels, high level and the low level, right? So here you can see factors with 2 levels, right? Level high and level low. And then you have graph column. So this will give you the data. Okay, so gelling temperature and the concentration of methyl cellulose. This is gelling temperature and the concentration of PEG 400, and gelling temperature and the concentration of sodium EDTA. Evaluation, so result. So this will not give us much information, right? So this is graph. Now coming to the analysis part. So when you click on analysis, again you need not have to select anything. Go to the effect. In effect, you can see that concentration of sodium EDTA is more prominent factor. It is having more effect on gelling temperature compared to the concentration of methyl cellulose, right? So this is half normal plot. Pareto plot is very important to understand the most significant factor. So in this study, the most significant factor is the concentration of methyl cellulose, which is affecting the viscosity, right? This is concentration of PEG 400. This is the concentration of methyl cellulose, and sorry, concentration of methyl cellulose and the concentration of sodium EDTA, but the maximum impact on viscosity is because of concentration of sodium EDTA, which is also known from this particular plot, half normal plot, because this particular effect is the maximum effect, right? Largest effect. So concentration of sodium EDTA is having maximum impact on the viscosity. Okay, right, and this can be confirmed from the Pareto plot. So when you click on Pareto plot, right, this Pareto plot, okay, so the maximum impact is having by concentration of sodium EDTA, and concentration we are taking in percentage weight by weight, and this would have maximum effect, right? This T value of effect is maximum in case of percentage concentration of sodium EDTA. So this is the most significant factor, right? And then you have this concentration of methyl cellulose, that is the second most significant, and the least significant factor is the concentration of polyethylene glycol. Okay, right. Then go for the ANOVA. So in ANOVA, what we have to check, we have to see whether the model is significant or not. So the data which we have collected is correct. Okay, fit statistic. So here also adequate precision is more than 4, and there is very less difference between the R square, adjusted R square, and the predicted R square. So the data is correct. This is your equation, right? Polynomial equation diagnosis. So points are scattered uniformly throughout the line. No points are above this upper limit or below this lower limit. Predicted versus actual points are uniformly scattered around the center point. Here points are well within the range, and here also you can see that points are scattered uniformly around the line. So this is a graph. So what you can see here is that as the concentration of all three factors, concentration of methyl cellulose, concentration of PEG 400, and concentration of sodium EDTA, as the concentration increases, the gelling temperature decreases, right? As the concentration increases, the gelling temperature decreases. There is no interaction at all because both lines are completely independent. Contours, if there is no interaction, contour lines are very much straight. 3D surface, so this is a 3D surface graph, right? And this 3D surface graph would help you to understand. See, this line is coming down. So as the concentration of PEG 400 increases, gelling temperature comes down, right? So this is a 3D surface. Okay, coming to the numerical optimization. So here also gelling temperature, if we give some target in the range, if we give some target like I want gel with 40 degrees Celsius of gelling agent solution, right? So there is one formulation. There are a number of formulations with this possibility that you will get 40 degrees Celsius gelling point, and these are some combinations of all three factors. Let me write 32 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the issue is if I write 36. Right. See, here the minimum value is 35, so we cannot write a target value less than 35. So 36 I have written here, and here also you can see that there are various options. So there are 4 options with desirability of 1, and even the software will show you the selected one, right? So if you mix different ingredients like methyl cellulose, PEG 400, and sodium EDTA in this particular combination, right? You will get gelling temperature 36 degrees Celsius, and the desirability is 1. Okay. Then you have graphical. So you will get this kind of yellow zone. So this not much of use. Point prediction. So always we have this facility in this software where we can pinpoint the concentration of these three factors in order to achieve our goal. So our goal is 36 degrees Celsius. Confirmation, right? So gelling temperature predicted mean 41 degrees Celsius, median 41 degrees Celsius, standard deviation, right? finally you have coefficient table. Okay, so gelling agent and p values, right? And that was all about three factor two level. Okay, now coming to the new design, last one, that is box Pancum. So here it is slightly complicated. So the study type is response surface, design type is box Bencon. The design model which has been selected by the software is quadratic, and you have 17 runs. So 17 formulations are there. If you see the factor, concentration of galangum, concentration of carbopol, and concentration of benzododecinum bromide, and the responses are viscosity at non-physical condition, viscosity at physiological condition, cumulative percentage drug release at 1 hour, time required to release 90%, mucoadhesive strength, gel strength, and the rate of permeability. So if you compare this particular box Bencon method with previous two methods, here the number of responses are more, right? The number of responses are more compared to previous two studies. And when you put data into perspective like this, into tabular form, it would look like this. Okay, so first you have to prepare 17 formulations, and for each formulations you have to check their responses. So this is a huge study. It takes almost 1 or 2 years to complete this study, and then you can go for the optimization. So summary, as I said, then you have graph, and you have evaluation, right? So this particular part is giving you a lot of mathematical information. Again, when you click on individual responses, here we are not supposed to make any change. Fit summary, so this is suggested. Now here the terminology is slightly different. Okay, the software has selected quadratic, but okay, linear is more suggested, and cubic is completely aliased. That means cubic is not capable to do diagnosis of the data. We have selected quadratic, but that is also not suggested. The suggested is linear. Okay, so linear model is more suggested. If you go for the ANOVA, the model is not significant. You see, the model is not significant. And when the model is not significant, it means that somewhere we have to made mistake, and we have to check that where we had make mistake, and that mistake we have to rectify, because in ANOVA we are looking for significant term here, right? So when the model is significant, the datas are correct, but when the model is not significant, there is some issue with the data. Okay, so it is also reflected here that there is a lot of difference between the adjusted R square and the predicted R square, right? So that is not desirable. If you do the diagnosis, now then there is no point of doing diagnosis, right? Here you can see that lot many datas are there near to the bottom line, so that is not desirable. Okay, so these things we have to remember. There is a lot of interaction between the selected factors, right? So this is a 3D surface. Okay, so 3D surface is showing you the effect of various factors on a selected uh, response, right? So likewise you can go and check one by one. This is significant. Okay, this is significant. So first one, viscosity of at non-physiological is not significant, so there might be some issue, but the viscosity at physiological condition is significant. Then you have this cumulative percentage drug release. Let us see. ANOVA. This is also significant, not significant. So there is some issue with cumulative percentage drug release. Next is time required to release 90% of drug. So not significant again. So readings we have to change. Again, it is not significant. This is significant. So gel strength measured in terms of seconds. So the readings for the gel strength is more significant, right? So the ANOVA suggests that the data which we have collected here are significant, right? So that can be used further. And then you have rate of permeability. So fit summary model ANOVA. This is also not significant, right? So whenever you have a situation where the model selected model is not significant, right? It is advisable to do the entire experiment again, and then we have to check that whether we have made any mistake while recording the data or not, right? So this would give you the polynomial equation. So a lot of interaction terms are here unlike the previous two. So AB, AC, BC, so it suggests interaction between selected factors. So here we can go for the numerical as well as the graphical optimization, right? So this would give you a perspective that which combination you can select if you need a particular preparation with desirable responses. Right. So this was all about the box Bentham. Once again, if you see the viscosity transformation, we are not linear is suggested instead of quadratic. Mm, Here we have selected linear, that is auto selected, right? And after that, when we go for the ANOVA, ANOVA is not significant, right? So it is not significant, and the reason is that p value. Okay, so p value is slightly greater, so it is not significant term. Values greater than 0.1 indicates model terms are not significant. If there are many insignificant model terms, not counting those required to support hierarchy, model reduction may improve your model. So in short, what they are suggesting that if there are so many insignificant terms are coming, then it is advisable to reduce some response here. Okay, so that it will reduce the overall size of the model, and by reducing overall size of the model, it is possible that we can use this particular software to achieve significance in terms of data. Okay, but as I said earlier that previous two methods were comparatively simple, but this particular is slightly more complex. As you can see here that the amount of data which we are using is very huge. Okay, so always there is a possibility that some responses may not be significant in terms of ANOVA. So this is one way to screen your responses, to screen your factors. You can remove all insignificant responses and factors from this particular study, and the remaining significant factors would help you to draw a particular conclusion, and you would be able to do your optimization, right? So students, that was all about the design expert software. If you have any query or question, then please let me know. I would be happy to solve your query or question. Thank you very much. Have a good day.